So Tracy, tell me how you've been dealing with her being able to walk her if she doesn't like a leash.
I carry her like this.
You carry her on a walk?
I carry her.
Wow, okay, good. Why don't you set her down here and just see, just kind of within this area here, walk her a little bit, and I'd like to see what she does about it. So when we got Mazzy outside on the patio, I employed a new distinction, which is what we call escape training. And the principle of escape training says that when you apply a minor aversive, in other words, just anything that irritates the dog a little tiny bit, then she's going to try to get out of that. She wants to minimize it. And she has natural default strategies that she will employ, but eventually if we manage the situation correctly, when she is not successful with that, what's going to arise is a question mark in her mind, well, what else could I do? And then that gives us an opportunity to answer that question. Well, you could do this. And then we see that she gets the relief that she wants by doing what we want her to do. Good girl. See, I release the leash every time she does that, right? In her mind, I'm saying, oh, I'm letting her discover that, oh, softening gets me the relief. Pulling back like crazy doesn't get me what I want. And then gradually she started to opt for the new technique on getting what she wanted. But I want to make sure that the mild aversive stays there until she tries the thing that I want her to do. And then I make sure she gets the relief she's looking for. And so then she says, oh, well, that worked. Because dogs will always just continue to do more of what it is that gets them what they want. Good girl. Every time she takes a little step towards me or leans towards me, I'm going to give her some relief, right? Good. There you go. If you've read any books on dog training, you probably have run across a book called Don't Shoot the Dog, in which Karen Pryor describes the whole principle of reward training. And she popularized the saying, dogs do what works. We kind of say dogs will do anything that gets them more of what they want, right? Dogs aren't cows, they're predators. And unlike a cow who walks out in the morning and the food is the same place it was yesterday, a predator walks out in the morning and there's food everywhere, but it's like up in the tree or down in a hole or it's in the bushes, and he has to figure out, how do I get what I want? What we're going to find is that Mazzy has a strategy that she has been using to relieve herself of that stress that she feels when somebody tries to leash her. In other words, she has figured out some way of getting out of it, which is of course biting on the leash. She's actually been successful in biting a few leashes off. And since she's had success with that, she's going to be really sold on that idea. That's going to be her automatic reaction as soon as you put a leash on her. And as soon as she starts to see that she's not having success with that, then we should start seeing her behavior change pretty steadily. So if I put a little bit of tension on the leash, and I'm just going to keep pulling a little harder and a little harder and a little harder and a little harder, and then as soon as she takes a step forward, I'm going to release. Okay? And she'll give up the old behavior. That's the first stage. Second stage is she starts saying, well, what else could I do? And then if we're clever, we control the environment in which she's learning so that she learns what we want her to learn, and that so she takes up the strategy that we want her to take up. And she will get the relief that she's looking for by doing what we want her to do. So I was really pleased when I saw where Mazzy started to get, like, it wasn't just an isolated thing, but she started to do it repeatedly, right? Where I would put a little bit of pressure on there and she would take a step forward or even a couple of steps, and then I would give her a little 15-20 second timeout and tell her what a good girl she was, and then I'd ask her again, well, come on, can't you give me a little bit more? And I'd pull and she would resist, but then she remembered, oh, I know that's not going to work, so she would take a couple steps forward. So I want you just to gently pull on the leash and firmly. And if you start pulling at a 1, at a 2, at a 3, at a 4, don't go back to a 2. Once you get up to a pull of 4, the only place to go is 5. And when she sees that that's what your pattern is, she'll go, oh, well, I don't have much choice. Right? So you're gently convincing her that once you start pulling, you might as well soften. Collar.
Mazzy, come. 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 Come.
Very good.
Good girl.
So this time, instead of pulling her all the way in, as soon as she gives a little, I want you to give a lot. As soon as she goes like that, I want you to give all the leash to her. And then ask her again. Pull, 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 pull. And she takes another step forward. Give her all of the leash. And then ask her again. Come over on this side.
Mazzy, come. Come.
There you go. Very good.
It's a miracle.
The old behavior is diminished, right? It's diminishing. It's not like she's not going to go back to biting on the leash. She will periodically. But we've given her a new way of being with you and a new way of getting what she wants. She really wants to go out on a walk.
She does.
She's just had this old pattern that's gotten in her way because she was fearful. A lot of times owners and trainers make the error of having too much emphasis on thinking that they're teaching the dog what to do. Well, dogs already know how to sit, how to come, how to lay down. It's really, if you want to be a good master, you put your emphasis on teaching the dog when to do those things. He's doing them on his schedule, and we want him to do them on our schedule. So it's important to remember that to be a good leader, you have to say when things are going to happen, when the dog can eat, when the dog can go out the door, when the dog needs to lie down, and when the dog can get up. You noticed how anxious Tracy got. There was moments there where I thought that she might bail out on us completely. But what we want to do is make sure that we're using sound behavior principles, and the distinctions that we used today were the idea that you've got to be the master, right? You can't be lazy and just expect that the dog's going to do the pleasing part. You got to do the master part. And then we talked about how you be a leader. You control the when things are going to happen. We have both sides of the equation. We have aversives and we have rewards, right? And both will change behavior, but we want to be working mostly with whichever is the appropriate one, and that takes experience. So you just have to be patient, study the principles, learn the distinctions, and you will be successful.
Mazzy, good job. John, good job.
Oh, thank you.
High five.
All right.